All right, let's talk about big data, but maybe not in the way you're used to. We're not just going to talk about what it is, but something way more fundamental. Where does it all actually come from? Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the real methods used to collect the insane amounts of information that, let's be honest, kind of run our world now. So let's dive in. So seriously, where does it all come from? It's one of those questions that seems simple, but the answer is, well, it's huge. Data feels like it's just everywhere, right? But it's not magic. It doesn't just appear out of thin air. There are actual techniques, real strategies for gathering and sorting this absolute mountain of information to make it useful. Okay, to make this whole thing a lot easier to get our heads around, I want you to picture something. Think of a data scientist as a world-class chef. And any great chef will tell you the final dish is only as good as its ingredients. You need a variety of high-quality stuff from all the right places. Well, it's the exact same for data analysis. You need a mix of amazing data ingredients. So let's go shopping with our chef. First up, we're scraping the digital market. This is our first method, web scraping. And for our chef, this is like taking a trip to the biggest, busiest, most chaotic public market on the entire planet, the internet. So what in the world is web scraping? Well, in simple terms, it's using automated software. You can think of them as little bots to go out and pull huge amounts of public data directly from websites. Back to our chef analogy, it's like sending out an entire army of lightning-fast personal shoppers. Their only job is to race through that giant market and instantly record everything they see. Every price tag, every product description, every little detail from every single stall. Okay, but why? What's the point of all that? Well, if you're a business, this is a gold mine. You can use it to keep a constant eye on your competitors' prices. You could gather up all the customer reviews for one of your products from a dozen different websites and see them all in one place. It's all about gathering that public intelligence to get a bird's eye view of what's happening in your world. And here's the really cool part. You have almost certainly used a service that's powered by web scraping, and you probably didn't even realize it. Have you ever used a website to find the absolute cheapest flight for your vacation? Or the best deal on a new laptop? Yep, that's web scraping in action. Those sites are constantly scraping data from hundreds of different airline and e-commerce sites to give you that simple, powerful list. It's a perfect example of this method at work. All right, time for our next ingredient. Our chef is leaving that noisy public market and is now heading over to their own private, super high-tech automated greenhouse. And that brings us to our second method, sensor data. This is the data that comes from the Internet of Things, or IoT. You've heard the term, right? It just refers to all the smart devices that are all around us, from your fitness tracker and your smartwatch to massive industrial machines in a factory. And the one thing they all have in common is that they are constantly generating this nonstop river of data about what's happening in the physical world. And this data is an absolute game changer. It allows a factory to predict that a machine is about to break down before it actually happens. Think about that. It's how our cities can track air quality in real time. It's how giant shipping companies make their supply chains way more efficient. These sensors are like silent, tireless observers, just gathering information 24/7. This is such a fantastic example. Instead of just guessing, a farmer can use data from soil sensors to know exactly which part of the field needs more water, or which section needs more fertilizer, all thanks to these little sensors in the ground. And the result? You get way better crops with a whole lot less waste. It's brilliant. Okay, next up. Our chef needs to know what's happening back in their own kitchen. Every time an oven gets turned on, every time an order is processed, a little note gets made in the kitchen's logbook. And this is our third method, log files. Think about this for a second. Every single time you use an app, click on a website, or do basically anything on your computer, your actions are generating a trail of data. These are log files. They're the automatic behind-the-scenes digital records of literally everything happening within a system. And this under-the-hood data is absolutely vital for keeping our digital world running. When an app crashes on your phone, developers are looking at log files to figure out why. When a website gets super slow, engineers check the logs to find the bottleneck. And maybe most importantly, cybersecurity experts are constantly digging through these logs to hunt for any signs of an attack. And this really shows you just how critical log files are. By analyzing patterns in these enormous text files, a security analyst can spot the digital footprints of a potential hacker and slam the door shut before they get in.
is really like a detective reviewing hours of security footage to stop a crime before it even happens.
All right, on to our final ingredient. Our chef has been to the market, checked the greenhouse, and read the logbook. But they realize, the best way to find out what people like is to just ask them. And that's our fourth and most direct method, surveys and user data. This is the data that we, the users, create and provide ourselves, willingly. It's that review you write for a restaurant, it's the vacation photo you upload, it's your answers to that customer satisfaction survey. It's information coming straight from the source, us. And let me tell you, companies live and die by this kind of feedback. It tells them exactly what their customers love, what they hate, and just the general feeling people have about their brand. And all of that data gets fed back into improving their products, tweaking their marketing, and just making the whole experience better. We have all seen this one, right? You buy something, and the next day, bam, an email lands in your inbox asking, "How did we do? Please rate your experience." That simple little survey is an incredibly effective way for them to collect data directly from you to figure out how to improve.
So, our chef has visited the market, checked the high-tech greenhouse, reviewed the kitchen's logbook, and talked to the diners. Now it's time to see how all these different ingredients come together to create the final recipe. This table lays it all out perfectly. You've got web scraping from websites giving us market intelligence, sensor data from IoT devices for monitoring and automation, log files from our computer systems for performance and security, and finally, surveys and user data coming straight from customers for direct feedback. Each method provides a totally unique and absolutely essential ingredient. And hey, if you want a super simple way to remember these 4 key methods, just think of these 4 words: scrape, sense, log, ask. That's it. You scrape the web, you sense the world, you log your systems, and you ask the users. Scrape, sense, log, ask. A perfect way to keep it all straight. And that brings us to one last big thought. We've seen how all these powerful data ingredients are collected, but as these techniques get more and more sophisticated, the responsibility to use all that data ethically and responsibly becomes more important than ever. So the real question is, how do we strike that balance? That's something to think about. Thanks for watching.